morning and welcome to our Facebook Live crafting this evening. My name is Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based indeed in the market town of Brackley in Northamptonshire in the UK. This week our chosen stamp set for our stamp set of the week is Bird's Eye View, which you can see here. If you joined me yesterday evening, that was Bank Holiday Monday, you will have seen me create, I think it was this card here. It says "A Little Bird Told Me," and alongside that I had this one as my sample, and then this one that I created at Coffee and Card this morning. And that features the same little bird as here, and what I've done is added a stack of books on here, and I've actually used the books also to create the background. So that's what I created at Coffee and Card alongside these ones here. So I thought I would carry on with this book theme. With the Bird's Eye View, there are 5 different birds that you can use, and you also have this branch, so you will see examples using the branch and some of the other birds. But today what I'm going to do is use the books and create a whole stack of books and show you how to do some masking so that the books will all line up and don't crisscross over each other. At least that's the plan. So let me see who's joined us. I think Kat has joined us live. Hi Kat, and also Jeanette. Thank you ladies. I hope you've had a good day today. I'm just going to see if my phone comes to life or whether it's run out of charge. It's looking remarkably like it's out of charge. So I will just have to rely on looking up at my screen to see what's going on. So do bear with me. If you comment and I miss your comment, it's nothing personal. Yes, I've got 1% battery left, so that's really not going to last, is it? Excellent. So let's get cracking with this. So for this one I'm going to use probably this little bird here, this one. And then I've got the books. So the books has 3 books designed to lie down, but what I'm going to do is have them stand up, and I'm going to have a gap and put the bird, probably this one because it's facing forward, but I could put this one, and then a line of books carrying on. At least that is my plan. So let's see how we get on. So for my card I'm going to use a thick basic white card that I've cut at 14.85 from an A4 sheet and scored at 10.5 centimeters to make my base card. I've cut a piece of wild wheat here, and this measures 10 by 14.35. And then I've cut a piece of white that I'm going to be doing my stamping on. I might cut this further down to give me more of a border, I'll see. But this at the moment measures 9.5 by 13.85. So I'm going to be working on this. When I'm looking for it, my card and envelope is on the right hand side by my teacup. So when I'm hunting later, you can tell me where it is. Okay, let's grab a piece of paper to work on. So use this one here. Okay, and I'm going to be working on this white piece. And what I'm going to do to give me a fairly straight line for my books, I say fairly straight, I'm going to position my paper along the grid lines here, and then take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing, and position my post-it note in line with the grid of the grid paper so that I've got a line for my books to go along. Let's clean my stamp to start with. Not what I've done with my clean, I've just buried it somewhere. There we go. So it's definitely a change in the weather today. It was it's been overcast most of the day, then the sun came out for a brief hour, and now it's gone back in again. And if I didn't know better, I'd say it was going to rain. Okay, let's start with a clean stamp. Always good. Okay, so if you look at these books, they were, well, I think they were designed really to go like that. But what I want to do is have a line of books going across here. Because of this line here, I can't just stamp over them. If I just show you what I mean. So if I start just over here, and I'm sorry it's on the edge of the grid paper, so there's my first set of books, and if I just stamp it again, either I'm going to have a gap where the books are, which actually would work, or if I try and overlap like so, the front of the books is fine, but you've got this crossover panel here. Now what I did for this one was I actually coloured in a very dark colour, so I used Starry Sky Blends pen, colour it in, and so you can't actually see the line. You can if you look very, very carefully, but as a general rule you can't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp from the left hand side, mask off the edge of the books, and then stamp the next lot. At least that is the theory. So I have stamped this on an edge of post-it note, and I'm going to just cut this, and I think I only need this edge, if my theory serves me right. So let's get started. Let's stamp our first one. I'm using Pebbled Path. That's my new early espresso replacement, and I just want the bottoms of the books to be just above this line, and I'm just going to have this so it goes just off the edge. No, I'm going to have it just in the edge. Hopefully, like so. Whew. Okay, so if I stamp this again, you get this edge piece crossing over. So what I'm going to do is just cover up the edge with my stamped post-it note, ink up the books, and then stamp this again. And so if I lift this away, hopefully we've got the books joined together. So what I'm going to do is another one, and then I'm going to pop my owl in, and then I'm going to carry on with the book. So basically I'm going to end up with, hopefully, a line of books with an owl stuck in the middle. So again, I'm just lining up my post-it note that I've cut out. And then doing the same thing. Like so. go. Okay, I'm moving up a little bit, so I need to bring it back in, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to stamp my owl in the middle. And actually what would be quite fun would be to have an owl either side and books in the middle, so that like, what do you call those things that stop the books moving? Bookends, that's it. Okay, so you're just going to pop him in there, or her, like that, and then add more books. So the first one I'm going to stamp complete. Like that, and then masking that one off. And this may fit on as is, I'm not sure. Like so. There we go. So I've got my line of books and a thumbprint at the top. So I might just trim that slightly to lose that thumbprint, and the other one I'm going to cover up. Okay, right, let me have a look and see who has joined us in the meantime. Let me have a look. Okay, that looked good, I think. Right. There we go. Okay, so I am just going to trim that very slightly. If I trim, I did say I might bring this in a little bit. Not necessarily for that reason though, but let's see. Take centimetre off that way. And a little bit off the bottom, I think. I don't want to cut his legs off. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stamp a sentiment across the top, so I'm thinking I'm going to put a big happy birthday on there, or a large sentiment of some kind. Just a note would also may fit. Let's have a look. I've got just a note. That would definitely work. And then all I've got to do is colour it in. Now there is a lot of books there for colouring, so if you don't want to stick it out for all of that, I fully understand. Let's just pop this down. I thought that was a mark, and it's just a little bit of stray something. Okay, so there we go, and a stroke of luck I've managed to put the N of note right on that tiny little blemish. So this is going to go onto my layers, so I've got a nice border around it now, and I'm just going to colour it in, and that will be our card. So I am going to stamp some books on the inside. So let's do all of the stamping. So I think what I will do is stamp the books with the owl next to it on the left hand side. There it is. So just a little bit of fun with this set. There's the books there. Let's pop the owl on. Yes, that is the right one. Make sure I've got that covered. Like so. And then while I'm at it, I'll do the envelope. And I think for the envelope, I'm going to do a line of books with the owl sat on the top. So I'm just turning this round. So you just need to think about which way you're stamping this. Obviously, you wouldn't have it that way because then the books are sort of up in the air. So that's that one there. And I'm going to pop him on top, like so. Okay, so there's my envelope, like so. There he is on the inside, so I'm not going to colour him in on the inside because that will go through to the back. If I wanted to do that, I would stamp it onto a separate piece of thin white card and then pop it on the inside. So that's going to be my layer, and I've still got a dirty thumbprint from somewhere. Luckily that was on the front of the card that will be covered up. And so, oopsie-daisy, all I'm going to do is put the ink away before I get anywhere else. Right, turn this over. And then just do some colouring in. So I've got an assortment even of colours. I've got some of that wild wheat that matches the background, and I've got assorted greens. So this is going to be quite a studious set of books here. So I'm just going to take my glasses off. And I'm going to do them fairly quickly, but I appreciate this is only colouring in. So if you've got other things to be getting on with, then I fully understand that. So we've just got the side of the book here, and maybe this edge of the spine. And you can colour the spines in either in a complete colour, or you can sort of mix and match. I've got light wild wheat here. So I've had great fun with this set already, and it is our stamp set of the week. So if you purchase this stamp set, I do send you the components to make the cards. Obviously, if you haven't got Blends pens, you could use watercolour pencils or Stampin' Write markers or any other colouring medium of your choice. Let's have a green one next. So I've got light old olive. Just going to use that for this one here, and this one I might have a different panel here. And let's have a light crumb cake. I think I've got that one here for the spine. Let's have grey one. Let's do that with there. Maybe add a little bit of blue to the spine of that. But you can just have some fun with the colouring of the books. You could also stamp onto some patterned paper and then just fussy cut a few of the pieces so that you could have some patterned pieces in there rather than plain. And you could also, if you had nice writing, you could also write some titles on there, so you could make it fit for the particular person that you're making the card for example. Let's see what we have here. I've got Poppy Parade, light and dark. Let me just see if anybody else has popped on. No, we're all good. If you have joined us live, then do feel free to say hi. I haven't got my phone, so I can't tell who's joined us. There we go, nice bit of Poppy Parade. Nice and bright. That is dark. Let's use this one for the edges. And then for the edges of the books, I will probably just use I've got light lemon lolly, so a light yellow, almost like a vanilla, and I'm just going to brush that along there. You could leave it white, to be honest, and you could have different colours. A lot of books these days have coloured edges of pages, so just do that. So we had a great class this afternoon for our class in a box. That was our in-person class, and then we've got our online class at the weekend. But ladies did a great job this afternoon. It was really, really good fun. Right, I've got light crumb cake. Here and here. And let's use what I've got, dark crumb cake. I'm not doing a great deal of shading because it's a small area. You could obviously take your time and do shading around the edges, but I've got so many books here. If I started shading, we'd be here all night, I fear. Right, what have I got? Pretty Peacock here. So this is one of our returning colours, and I've kept this pen from when we had it originally, and it just goes to show that it still works absolutely fine. This is light Pretty Peacock. And people sometimes ask me how long the Blends pens last. Well, it's like, you know, how long is a piece of string really? Because it depends on how much you use it, what you're using it for. If you're doing a large expanse, obviously, that will use up a lot more ink at any one time. And also how long you leave them open for. And which nib end you're using. I tend to use nearly always the small nib end. But that's just me. I just feel I have more control. But if I'm doing a large area, I use the larger nib. Right, let's put a bit of wild wheat on these. One and two. And let's have a bit of green. So this is Dark Mossy Meadow, and let's use that on one of the borders here. And then I've got light Old Olive. So I'm really just mixing the colours up. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's make this one all the same. Like so. I'm going to colour this one in. Like that. Let's add a bit of red on this one. Like that. And I do like that pretty peacock. So, and what haven't I had? I've got plenty to choose from, but I want to keep it fairly, you know, to a minimum number of colours really. Like so. And colour that in. That's a bit of Pool Party. This is where you need a speed up option, isn't it? At least when you're watching on replay on YouTube, you can speed me up. Did you know that? Right, and let's have a bit of crumb cake in there. I like crumb cake. And then I've got one more to go. Let's have Old Olive. There we go. And I think this might be a bit too light, but we'll try it. Like so. Whew, made it. Okay, so those are my books all coloured in. Let me see. Oh, Cat, excellent. A lot of people say they find it really relaxing watching people colour in. So I appreciate that, thank you. Right, let's just use a little bit of light crumb cake, because the top of those books are a bit too yellow for my liking, so I'm just going to add a little bit of crumb cake going in there, and then I'll just colour my cute little owl and we're done. So I hope you like the idea. I think masking is always a great use of stamps. It means you can get more out of them using them like that as opposed to like that. And I think you could also do them going along and then have one underneath and have the bird actually sat on the books. I should have thought of that before I'd done them. But I will tomorrow be using some of the other birds and the branches. So if you're free in the morning tomorrow, 10 o'clock UK time, you will see me use those. Right, let's colour this cute little owl. Let's use a bit of dark crumb cake. Like so. A bit of light, like so. And I'm going to give him a little bit of blue at the top of his belly, or hers. And I might put the glasses on because this is quite a studious little owl, isn't it? Right, that's dark crumb cake. Take light. Okay, so I'm going to leave the space in the middle there, which I'm going to lighten off again. And let's give our little studious bird a little orange beak. And let's see if the glasses will fit without getting in the way of the books. Should have thought of that first. Let's find my stamp set. So there are two sets of glasses. There are these horned ones here, and then there's the round ones. Yeah, I think I'll get away with that. What do you think? Let me know if you think I should add the glasses or not. Let's do his head and body. So just coming in from the edge. Looks like he's got a fringe. So just blend that in. So if you find you've got lines where you're blending, just keep going over with a lighter colour and gradually it will blend out. Okay, let's grab the colour lifter and just going to use that on his tummy or her tummy, and that will just lighten that up and give it a little bit of I was going to say shadow, but it's the opposite, isn't it, really? Whatever that is. Okay, so do we think I should put the glasses on this cute little owl? Yes, there's Jeanette, and yes, there's Cat. And somebody says hello, by the way. Who is that? Let's have a look. Oh, hi, Baz. Ah, brilliant. Excellent. So nice to have you join us, Baz. Okay, and so that's going to go onto there. And I suppose I could have a different colour glasses to my Pebbled Path. So I might grab, I could do red glasses. What do you think? Shall I be brave? I've got Poppy Parade glasses. I'm just going to stamp them and see what you think. I'm going to be brave. Really out of my comfort zone to do this. Alright, I have to take my glasses off though. There we go. There we are. Fun. Cute. Right, let's put this together. Let's put my ink pad away and find my layers, which I know I parked on the right hand side, didn't I? So these are my layers here. So I've got that there. That's going to go onto my wild wheat layer, and then that's going to go onto my basic white, and then I've already stamped the inside and the envelope, and I will go ahead and colour the envelope like I did the other day after we finished. Just wondering whether to put a poppy layer around that, just to bring that red in. Let's have a look, see what you think. So this is an offcut of poppy. Let me cut it and see, and then we can decide. So I cut this one down, and I'm going to make this 1/2 centimetre bigger. So this is 13 by 8.7. Got a bend in it there. So I'm going to cut this. About 8.3, 8.2. Oops. No, I've gone the wrong way. Oh. Maybe I won't put the red layer on. Yes, says Jeanette to red. Oh dear, I'm so used to making smaller layers. Right. Let's try this. Just get another piece of poppy. Right. Let's try that again. Okay, so I do like to cut this into A5 first, because then I know that that's ready for another card. If I get a piece out of my bookcase here, I want to know that it's going to be A5. So this measured 8.7, so I'm going to do this 9.3-ish. And it was 13, wasn't it? So I'm going to do 13.5, give or take. There we go. That's it, that works. So I'm just going to put these layers down flat. Find a working glue. So I know a lot of people struggle when they have glue to know, especially when it's been opened for a while, whether it's empty or whether it has indeed got glue in it. And I have a really easy way to tell you which one it is, and that is I weigh them. So the glue content is 25 grams, and when you have a brand new bottle it measures 40 grams. So when your glue is empty, if you pop it on the scales, or if it's not new, pop it on the scales. If it's 15, there's no glue left, or not much glue. If it's 20 to 40, then you know that there is glue in there. So that's my cheats way. So what I do, because obviously I use a lot of glue with coffee and cards, so I may have 4 or 5 glues on the go at any one time, and I know when it's light enough. But if you just pop them on the scales, 40 is a brand new one, 15 is an empty one, and then that will give you an idea. So if you're not getting any glue out because it's got gummed up at the top, just take a pokey tool or something and very carefully, do mind your fingers, just put it in the top, okay, and then, or you can use the other end of the glue, which is this one here, which is the one that's got the spreader, so you can squeeze that and spread the glue around. So that's my handy hint. So 40 grams for a brand new Tombow glue, and that's Tombow glue as we sell it. So I don't know whether Tombow glue from anywhere else is any different, but that's just to help you. There we go. I'm trying to read what Jeanette said, sorry for that. Oh, could use red blend around the edge of that. That's a good point too. You could definitely do that. There we go. Okay, so just laying that on. So sorry it's gone on a bit longer than normal for a single card, but most of it was colouring, to be fair. So I hope you like it. Our little owl sat in the middle of all the books. I could draw a line along there, even a sort of wiggly line to ground it, but I'm worried that I'm going to make a mess, so I'm not going to. I could put a little bit of a line under him, I suppose, like so, like that. There we go. Okay, so there we are, all done and dusted. I hope you like my take on today. Excellent. Baz has just weighed her Tombow. It's 30 grams. So you know you've got 15 grams in there. So you're less than, just over halfway through. Okay, so there we go. So these were the earlier ones that I have created with the owl and the books, or different owls and the books. This is what I've created today. And then do come back and join us tomorrow, and I'll be using some of the other owls and the branches. So I hope you enjoy that. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. I shall be here live, as I said, 10 AM tomorrow, Wednesday, but you'll be able to watch me on catch up. I might add a few little bits, and I might add some gold or some wild wheat dots onto there just to finish it, but I'm happy with it as a general rule. So thank you for joining me. Have a great evening. I'm off to do some more die cutting for my class in the box. I look forward to catching up with you really soon. Thanks so much. Bye everyone. Bye for now.